Today we're going to talk about indecision. No, indecisiveness. Today we're going to talk about decisions. Making them, not making them, and most importantly, not regretting them. Now, choosing a topic for this project, I hesitated and I bounced back between option after option after option. I probably sifted through maybe 24, maybe 25 different topics, and due to my indecisiveness, I probably killed about the better half of last week just trying to choose on what to actually talk about for this project. And ironically enough, I decided on the topic of indecisiveness, not only because I thought it was clever to decide on indecisiveness, but also because I've struggled with indecisiveness and decider's remorse. Now, I overthink everything, from what greeting to use to email a teacher, to the perfect way to write a single sentence in a timed right, and even just to the type of ice cream I should be eating while I work on this project. But on a more serious note and a more significant level, I and just about everyone else my age will eventually have to decide on some pretty meaningful decisions, ranging from what career path to pursue, to who to marry and who to date, to really just what steps are we ultimately going to take in order to live our lives as happily as possible. So now, with the help of some psychology studies, we're going to learn how to not only be more decisive, but also to accept our decisions and accept the consequences that come with them. So first, remember that everything will be okay. No matter what happens, at the end of the day, you're going to wake up the next day with new 24 hours and a new start to work with.
Making decisions becomes easier when you consider the consequences or potential payoffs of your decision as not nearly as far-reaching as you think they will be. Over multiple studies on happiness and decision-making, Harvard University psychology professor Daniel Gilbert concluded that for test participants on average, bad events proved less intense and more transient than test participants predicted, and even good events proved less intense and briefer as well. In other words, when we rationalize our decisions to avoid a misfortune, such as rejection from a girl, or to obtain a benefit, such as the buzz from buying a Porsche, we often exaggerate the impacts. The outcome of a decision is often not as worse nor as joyful as we think. This doesn't mean we're fretting over nothing, only that we can stand to release a lot of the stress surrounding a decision.
So breathe, don't panic, and just make a decision. The situation is likely a lot less serious than it seems. But now let's step into the future after you've made your decision. It's just as important that when you look back at it, you remember that you likely had less information at the time than you did after you made the decision.
Tech professor of economics, Colin Karamer, explains that when given new information, the brain tends to file away the old data and ignore it. Once we know the outcome of a decision or an event, we can't easily retrieve those old files, so we can't accurately evaluate something after the fact. This phenomenon is called hindsight bias and causes us to think that we knew enough at the time to easily make the right decision. Your brain may be telling you that you had all the necessary information to decide better, but in actuality, you likely did not know enough. So cut yourself some slack when you look back on high school and think that you should have done this or should have done that.
In short, synthesizing the explanations of Dr. Gilbert and Dr. Karamer, this is just one possible way of doing away with indecisiveness. Not only in keeping our outcomes in perspective, but also remembering the information that we have available to us when we make a decision. So even at the end of this video, I say, I don't know if I made the right decision in choosing my topic as indecisiveness, but whatever the outcome of this decision, I think I can live with it.